Today's story begins with the appearance of goblins inside one of the caves. Gathering around one of the goblins who is dead, says one of the goblins. The leader is dead. Now, the leader's weapon is mine now. I am the leader, says the goblin next to the dead leader. You're talking nonsense. He tells him, I'm the leader. He replies, go to hell. He gets angry at him and goes to subjugate him. The remaining goblins enjoy the view. The goblins say, the leader has left us prey. Let us go and take it. But the goblins who guard the prey are about to return. A goblin appears wearing a robe of human clothing. The goblins say that he is the one who guards the prey. What a disgusting creature that covers his body like a human. He knows where the prey is. He will definitely keep the prey for himself. Let us follow him. Goblin says, wait a minute. Some men have already gone to find the prey earlier. They are strong men. Once they start fighting, we will go. The prey guard says, damn. He hears the sound of the prey screaming, leave me, help, stay away from me. He goes quickly towards her, glory, someone help me. I don't want to give birth to goblin children. The goblin guard tells them to stop. She looks at him and is afraid, crying, and says to him, help me, please help me. The guard says, guys, let her go. The goblin tells him that it is you again, this monster. The leader is dead. This prey is mine. If you dare and take my prey, you will die. He says to the goblins, kill him. The goblins go towards him to kill him. He says, fuck these goblins. I can't believe that even these goblins are low level. The goblins attack her. He says, I cannot die here. I have to stay alive. He takes out his knife and wounds some of the goblins. The goblins look at him. They are afraid, and they say, go with him as a weapon. The woman who is being guarded by the goblin goes and says to him, hey, goblin, are you okay? Thank you for saving me again. You didn't hurt me, and you kept protecting me. You really are a different goblin. Please don't die. He says to himself, a different goblin, but I was once human too. My name is Lin Tian, and until a few days ago, I was a typical young man who grew up under the red flag. But I did not expect that instead of dying after being hit by a truck, I would be transported to another world with order. Even though I have the system in place, it is not fully activated other than being able to see some stats. It does not seem to have any other functionality. However, I have not been idle. These past few days, from what this woman has told me, I have gained some understanding of this world. This world created by kings contains many powerful monsters, and humans have made their place on this continent with their strength. But the goblin that I reincarnated into is the weakest and most capable monster in this world. My stats are really low, and even among goblins, I can be killed easily. Status name Lintian, race goblin, level 5, class none, health 20 out of 20, strength 5, defense 5, skills, race devouring genes, equipment rough stone, knife, combat strength total 30. He says there is a way to become stronger, which is by mating with these girls. The goblins have the ability to become stronger through mating and continuous reproduction, but they do not have females of the same kind as themselves. So in order to reproduce, they can only mate with other female creatures, and that's why they are constantly being preyed on. But I'm used to being a human, so doing such things is actually. The woman he is guarding tells him, hey, don't worry, after spending these days with you, I understand now, you're completely different. You don't really want to live with these goblins, do you? Don't worry, when the knight orders a rescue, I will tell them that you saved me. The knight's orders are permanent. Justice. They will definitely agree to let you live in the village. The goblin guardian says to himself, she is not wrong. Even if the system cannot be activated, as long as I wait for the humans to come to rescue and protect them, I can survive first, and then figure out how to activate this system slowly. Suddenly, he hears a noise, and he says to me, damn, these goblins are coming back. He tells her to hide. The goblins are screaming, saying, there is a human there. I want to mate. If she reads, it means that he will not be killed. The guard will eliminate him and say to her, hey, it seems that humans have come to save you. She hears the news and becomes happy. She says, really? This holy matter must be great. Let's go check it. She quickly goes toward it. The knight appears, killing some goblins. He says, "Damn, these filthy creatures. They tore my sacred order uniform." Status name Loader race human level 25. Class swordsman health 200. Out of 200 strength 30. Defense 50 skills sword Kai. Strike sword. Dance holy skill. Sword. Return to heaven equipment sword of justice platinum sword A. The goblin guard says she's the first woman I've seen with such high statistics since coming here. Is this really a human? They dealt easily with these goblins. The woman tells him, "Commander, we are here," and goes towards him. He tells her, "No, wait, be careful." The knight attacks her with his sword, but surely the guard goes to save her from the attack, and says to himself, "Aren't they here to save people? Why are they attacking? Is the cave now so dark?" He thought this boy was a goblin. The knight says that it is shameful for a goblin to be able to avoid his attack. The woman says to him, "Commander, this is me, Kilya." The knight tells her, "Be silent, Kilya. I know it is you, but you have been ravaged by goblins. Perhaps you carry a goblin child within you. It is ridiculous for a filthy person like you to expect mercy from me. Go to repent of your sins to the great holy mother." Kilya says, "Commander, wait. Even though he was arrested, I was not desecrated by the goblins. It was him. This goblin was protecting me." The knight tells her, "If you are going to make up stories, at least make them believable. Do you consider me a fool? Go and meet your end with these dirty creatures." The goblin guard says, "I can't believe this." He goes to the knight and says, "Run away. There is a way out on this road. Get out of here." The knight is preparing to strike, and the goblin says, "Damn it. I did not expect this ending." A voice is heard from behind. Wait for the Lord to protect the goblin. A beautiful woman appears, who appears to be the Holy Virgin, and says, "This goblin seems a little strange, Kilya." The Holy Virgin says, "Help, saint. Save me, O Holy Virgin." Can Jesset go to the goblin guard and say to him, "Can you understand my words?" He says to himself that the Saint Virgin Everia, the spokeswoman for the temple they talked about, "If I want to leave here, this may be my only hope." He says to her, "Yes, I can. You are the Holy Virgin they mentioned, right? I am not actually a monster from this world. I am used to being a human being. I became like this because of an accident. I can explain everything if I go with you." The knight says he seems smarter than those goblins. This is very rare. The saint says, "Well, goblins are usually stupid and mean creatures. They can't speak and think fluently. It might be a gift from the Holy Mother." Saint Kilya asks if this goblin really did not harm you. She says, "Yes, he not only did he harm me, but he also protected me from other goblins and gave me food." The saint says, "Okay, since it is a very special case, let us take it first. We will study the matter well before making the decision." The saint says to him, "Are you ready?" The goblin guard says, "I am ready to go with you." He says to himself, "Finally, someone who can listen to logic. And since staying means death, it is better for me to go back and prove my innocence." Saint, "Okay, let's go then, Lord Goblin." The guard says, "Thank you for your kindness. I will pay this debt to you appropriately." She looks at him and says, "Of course." Suddenly, Lord stabs Kilya the goblin. The guard hears a voice. He looks back and finds Kilya lying on the ground, looking at her in astonishment. The saint tells him, with the face of a devil, that when we return, you had better repay me well. The story moves to a group of young men who gathered and said that this attack by the goblins had caused great damage to the Shining City. The goblins used malicious attacks to kill 30 of our residents. The goblins cursed an eye for an eye and blood for blood. Humans and goblins are enemies. The saint and the night lord appear in the arena, and the holy order tells them, on behalf of the temple, to cleanse these goblins and avenge the damaged city. The saint tells them to continue praying sincerely. The temple will always be protected. Her loyal followers go to Kadisha's library. She says today's sermon was a success. They are fools, as usual. Now, they will pray with greater devotion to the temple and offer more sacrifices. The goblin guard appears injured, and she has gouged out his eye. Iveria tells her, "You vile woman," tells him, "I'm still alive." How vital, How strong. No wonder the temple can't eliminate the goblins from the continent this time. Let's see how the poison affects the goblins. The goblin guard says, "You deceived me. You deceived everyone and killed Kilya." He shouts at her while he is angry. "This is your sacred system. These are your so-called human customs." The saints insert a stick into his mouth and say, "How strange that a weak and insignificant creature like you is a lustful imp who dares to question the justice of humans. Kilya says she was enchanted by you and dared to talk to you. This is a betrayal of humanity. Death was her final fulfillment. Goblins are nothing more than insects on this continent. For the Holy Virgin to speak with you is a great honor. You should be grateful and use your disgusting little body to contribute to the experiments of the human and sacred order." She activates the spell on him. He says, "Am I going to die? I don't want to. It's all my fault. I reincarnated from a human into a low-level goblin and foolishly clung to human compassion, believing that they were just and kind. Weakness and naivety were my most fatal mistakes. After I was brought back to the human city, Lord and Avery tortured me in every way possible, and they did not believe a single word I said. I wouldn't last long if I was played to death by a woman. If I could redo things, I would never trust people. If I could redo things, I certainly would. I will crush their bones and drink their blood. If I can live again, suddenly its color and shape change. It seems in another world." It says, "Am I still alive? Where is this place?" Status: the goblin life simulation system has been activated. Evaluation: the evaluation is complete. You are dead because of your foolishness. You forgot that you are a goblin. Humans will never trust goblins, and do not pity them. You died after you were exposed. For torture and torment, the pain of this week of torture is engraved in your soul. You will never forget the pain that humans brought to you. Your end is one of the worst fates for any person moving between worlds. Do you want to start over? He says, "This is my personal system. It only activates after death. Can this system bring me back to life? But it seems that I will be reborn as the most despicable goblin creature. What should I do?" The system shows a notification saying, "Inform the host. If you choose no, you will die. If you choose yes, you will retain your memory and your current system and will return to the goblin cave in a week." He says, "With memory and going back a week, I understand now. This is an opportunity to take revenge on Lord." And Ivrea agrees, "Yes." System: the second goblin life begins. Move to the goblin cave. The second goblin life begins. The system has helped you stay alive a little longer, so the system has strengthened you a little. He says that it is really only a little, but it is worse than nothing, I think. The system is a warning that even though you have been born again, the danger is not over yet. The human sacred system is about to reach the host. Please note that if you die again, the system will not be able to revive the host. He says, as expected, "It's about to arrive. I can't lower my guard. What can you do?" The system tells him that the system is called the Goblin Life Simulation System. The host can simulate his life with this system to predict future events. Please note that each choice the host makes will lead to different results. Each simulation takes 24 hours, and after the simulation ends, you will get points that can be exchanged to obtain items. The Goblin Guardian says it is a simulation, meaning one can see the future. Start the simulation immediately. System: current scenario: escape from the Afrit Cave. To discover the Holy Night Loader. The Efreet Cave. You are in escape from the Holy Night Loader. You have to make the following choice. The first option is to warn the goblins and unite to confront Loader and his men. Points are 10. The second option is to abandon the other goblins and escape. Points are 5. The third option is to hide in the cave and pray that Loader and his men do not find you. Points are 0. The goblin guard says to himself, "Although there are 3 options, I'm sure that even if all the goblins in the cave unite, they won't be able to confront Loader alone. Which is the only way to save me?" He plays the first option and says, "Try the first simulation and tell the most dangerous option that got the highest score if you can replace it with a weapon." System: you led the ORCs in a desperate Battle against Loader. Due to the large gap in power, you were killed by Loader and his men. You overestimate the strength of the goblins. Summary: before making a decision, know your strength. Points gained: 10. The Goblin Guard says, just as I thought. Relying on the goblins here, it is impossible to survive. But I got the points to open the exchange store. The Goblin Guard says there are a lot of weapons that can be exchanged. But my points are very low. This dagger costs 10 points. A fast, lightweight blade made by elves. Speed 10. Strength 15. A small dagger made by elves, fragile, but very sharp. He buys it, and says what a sharp dagger it is. It is a far cry from African weapons. If you hit a vital place, the blow could be fatal. Why didn't I see Kilia? Where did the system go? Because the host was reborn. Some details of the timeline had changed. Kilia wasn't captured by the goblins. She still lives happily in the city. I understand. It seems that I have fulfilled my promise to Kilia. In this case, I have no more worries. I have to run away and survive. This is the narrowest corridor and the entrance outside is smaller, so the guards will be relatively weaker at the corridor gate. The guards say, these goblins are really disgusting. The second guard says, hold on. This job is really easy for us. This entrance is small. Any goblin that runs outside is trash. I can crush him with one hit. Do not forget that Lord Lauder ordered the killing of any girl who tries to escape in this chaos. We cannot let this reach the city. The Goblin Guard says, fuck the Holy Order. They kill even the innocent of their own kind. What about a goblin of my gender? I have no choice but to fight. He changes his voice and shouts for help. I am a girl from the Shining City. I was captured by goblins. The guard says, kill this tramp, and Lord Lauder will reward me. He goes to the cave, hiding a knife behind his back, and says, come out, do not be afraid. I am one of the knights. I'm here to bring you back. The Goblin Guard comes out quickly towards the guard, carrying the knife.